Hello, this is Amy Wentley with China Knuckles Knitting, and this is episode 2022-26, the Waterfront Cowl, a medley of stitches. This video talks about the different stitches that are used in the Waterfront Cowl by Jennifer Dassau, and it's distributed by Malabrigo, and it's in their book 10 Rios. It uses 4 different sorts of stitches in the cowl, and I would like to go over those today. So we'll start out with the first stitch combination. It's a knit 1, purl 1 rib pattern. And I'm going to actually be demoing these using the speed swatch method. And so I'm going to pretend like I'm working in the round even though I'm not on circular needles. And the way I'm going to be doing that is I'm going to be draping the yarn across the back and always working right to left like you will be when you're working this cowl in the round. So just bear with me, I think you'll catch on to what I'm doing pretty quickly. So this first stitch pattern is a knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So you knit the first stitch, bring the yarn to the front, purl the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch, bring the yarn to the front, purl the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch, bring the yarn to the front, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch, bring the yarn to the front, purl the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch, bring the yarn to the front, purl the next stitch. So that's round 1. In the next round, you're going to be doing exactly the same thing, and you are going to be repeating this pattern for a given number of rounds that the pattern states for you. So for instance, when you start the cowl, the instructions say to do knit 1, purl 1 ribbing for 10 rounds. So you will be all set doing that. If you'd like to see knit 1, purl 1 ribbing in continental method, I will do the next round that way for you. And notice how I'm moving the yarn back and front between each stitch because the yarn needs to be in the front for the purl stitch and it needs to be in the back for the knit stitch. So working with continental knitting, I'm going to hold my working yarn in my left hand. Let me start the first stitch here and then switch over to my left hand. Okay, so that was knit 1 and bring the yarn to the front and purl 1, take the yarn to the back and knit 1, yarn to the front and purl 1, yarn to the back and knit 1, yarn to the front and purl 1, yarn to the back and knit 1, yarn to the front and purl 1, yarn to the back and knit 1. So there you go. So that's knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. That's what it looks like. When you spread it out, you can see the stitches. There's knit stitches and there's purl stitches between them. Knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch. And that is the knit 1, purl 1 pattern. The next one is the slip stitch pattern. And this is going to be a total of 6 rows. So I'm going to start out on here and I will cast on 10 stitches and I will be right back. So this is the slip stitch pattern. It's a 6-row repeat. It starts out with the first round. You will knit all the stitches in the round. Oops. Let me just tighten things up here. So I'm going to be knitting all the stitches in this round. Knit, 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 There you go. So that first round is knit all the stitches. The second round is going to be purl all the stitches. So I'm going to bring my yarn around here to pretend like I'm working in the round, and I'm going to purl all the stitches in the next round. Oh, wow. One. There we go. So round 2, purl all the stitches. So the next 4 rounds are all going to be the same. And they're going to be a little bit funny. They're going to pull in on each other. It's going to be pretty neat to see. So this is the second round done, and that's all purl. So now remember, I'm pretending that I'm knitting in the round, so I'm bringing my yarn around the back. Pretend you don't see that. We're pretending here that this is in the round. So for the next round, we're going to knit 1 and slip 1 with the yarn in front. So we're going to knit 1, and then we're going to bring our yarn to the front and slip the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, and knit the next stitch. Once we knit that stitch, we bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, and knit the next stitch. Bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch. Bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch. Bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch. So you just keep doing that all the way across the round, okay, the whole round. And then we are going to do that again. This is going to be round 4. We're going to actually do this a total of 4 times. So this is round 3 we just finished. We're going to do rounds 4, 5, and 6. And they're all the same. So 4 is going to be knit 1, bring the yarn to the front, slip 1, take the yarn to the back, knit 1, bring yarn to the front, slip 1, take yarn to the back, knit 1, bring yarn to the front, slip 1, take yarn to the back, knit 1, bring yarn to the front, slip 1, take yarn to the back, knit 1, bring yarn to the front, slip 1, take yarn to the back, knit 1. Now we need to do that 2 more times for rows 5 and 6, and I will show you how to do them with continental knitting. Okay. The edge stitches when I do this speed swatch method are kind of funky, so you just have to kind of ignore them for the sake of the demo. Okay, so I'm going to do that same business on these next 2 rows, continental. So I knit 1, that edge stitch is sloppy, knit 1, let me pull myself together here. Okay, knit 1, and then I've got my working yarn. Okay, so for continental, you bring your yarn to the front, slip 1, take your yarn to the back, knit 1. Take your yarn to the front, slip 1, take the yarn to the back, knit 1. Take your yarn to the front, slip 1, take your yarn to the back, knit 1. Bring your yarn to the front, slip 1, and across that stitch, take it to the back and knit 1. Slip 1, yarn to the front, knit 1. There you go. And we've got 1 more round that we're doing. And we'll do that continental also. Sorry. Did I lose you? Okay, so we need to knit one to start with. Did I lose that? No, I did not. Okay. So we're going to knit one. Get my hands set up for you. Get my hands on camera. I'm going to get this all straight. Cool. Okay. So continental, bring yarn to the front, slip one, take yarn to the back, knit one. Bring yarn to the front, slip one, take yarn to the back, knit one. Bring yarn to the front, slip one, take yarn to the back, knit one, bring yarn to the front, slip one, take yarn to the back, knit one, yarn to the front, slip one, yarn to the back, knit one. So this is what that slip stitch pattern looks like. What happened is you worked 2 regular rounds, a knit round and a purl round at the very beginning here, which actually gives it a little garter stitch look. And then when you slipped all these stitches in the middle here, you actually made a bunch of long, extra long stitches. Those are the ones that you slipped over and over and over again, and it made the other stitches curl on themselves. And so if we were to look at an example of this knitted up in the round on a real live thing, this is what the slip stitch looks like here. And this is the 1x1 ribbing that we did before, and this is the slip stitch. And the next pattern we're going to do is the broken rib pattern, and that's the one here. So I will be right back. I will cast on for the broken rib demo and be right back. This is the demonstration for the broken rib pattern. It's very simple. There's 2 rows that repeat over and over again. The first row is just knit, or the first round is just knit. So that's easy enough. The second round is, excuse me. The next round is just a simple knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So round 2, you'll just knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Then the next round is going to be just plain knit again. This is where the broken part of the rib comes from. Because the rib pattern is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, but when you stop to knit a row in between, you're breaking that pattern. So it just gives it a nice different kind of look, I think is why they do it. So just plain on this one. So it's just 2 rows repeated over and over again. So let's go ahead and, whoops, do 1 more row. one more round. And you know you will be knitting in the round. You won't be doing this carrying the strand in the back stuff like I'm doing to show you this. And so the next round would be again a knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. And so that's a broken rib pattern. It's that easy. It's 2 rounds. One is all knit, one is knits and purls. Okay, if you're wondering where you are on this pattern and you pick it up, if you're in the middle of working this broken rib pattern and you pick up your needle and you see that it has purl bumps and knit stitches on the needle, like this, so you can see purl, plain, purl, plain, purl, plain, purl, plain, then you know you just finished a rib row, a knit one, purl one rib row. If you don't see those bumps on your needle, you just finished a knit row. Now this is going to lead us into the elongated broken rib pattern, and the only difference with that is that it's 3 rows that repeat. It's 1 row of knit, only knit, so we're used to that. That's the breaking part, right? That's the part that breaks the rib. And then instead of having just 1 other row that we knit and purl, we're going to knit and purl 2 rows and then break it again. So this is a 3-row repeat. The first row is knit only, and then the second row and the third row or round is going to be knit one, excuse me while I get more yarn, is going to be knit one, purl one, ribbing. 2 rows of it. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. There you go. And let me show you what the difference is going to look like in the completed shawl. Go ahead and just finish that off, set it aside. Or cowl, it's not a shawl. Okay, so this is regular rib down here. These are your slip stitches. And this is 10 rows of knit one, purl one, rib. And then this is the 6 rounds of the slip stitch pattern 3 times. It looks like this. 3 distinct blocks like that. So that's 6, 12, 18 rounds of the slip stitch pattern. And then you knit 1 round all by itself, and then you do the broken rib pattern for just 6 rounds here. And this is what the broken rib looks like. If you spread it across, you can see how the purl stitches alternate here. It's a knit stitch, a purl stitch, a knit stitch, a purl stitch, a knit stitch, a purl stitch, a knit stitch. Instead of, if you look at regular ribbing, between all the ribbing it's all purl stitches. On this broken ribbing, the purl stitches alternate with the knit stitches in the valley there. Okay? And so there's 6 rows of the broken rib pattern, 6 rounds total, and then you do the slip stitch pattern again for a total of 18 rows and knit 1 row, and then this is the elongated broken rib pattern up here. You can see a little bit of a difference between this one and this one in that there's sort of a division too between the groups of 3. You can kind of see a natural line that develops there because of the all knit stitches in that 1 round. And so this ends up being in the purl valley, you have a knit, purl, purl, knit, purl, purl, knit, purl, purl, knit. Okay, and in here with the regular broken rib, you had knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and in the regular rib, you just had purls. So that's what the difference is there. And so you continue working on this. The elongated rib, broken rib, is the big part in the middle. You're going to repeat the 3 slip stitches. You're going to do another broken rib, 3 more slip stitches, and end with rib to finish off the whole cowl. Mine's not quite done yet. So thank you for sitting through this video. There are more videos to come every day, so please check them out. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.